Solana is taking the world by storm right now.
And then this quickly went from literally nothing to 177 million. And that's literally happened in only 3 or 4 days. Audio potential meme coin narrative, that could be huge.
That coin is actually called SPX. It's up in over $700 million of market cap. Solana is taking the world by storm right now with SPX and other meme coins going crazy. It's basically investing on easy mode. So I've decided to reach out to some of the best and most noteworthy investors on Solana on YouTube and bring you some collaboration. So with that being said, I'd like to invite Saj. How are you doing, brother?
Yeah, I'm doing good, Ty. How are you?
I'm very good, bro. I know a lot of my subscribers are going to be excited to finally meet you. You're actually one of the fastest growing people on YouTube right now, and people do look to you, especially when they're looking for authentic alpha. So I'm looking forward to picking your brains on a few things and actually giving some different style of insights when it comes to trading and investing. But before we get into that, I just want to know a little bit more about your story and what got you into this space.
Yeah, no problem. So briefly, I've been trading for a long time, so probably for over 20 years. So everything from stock market, crypto, etc. But recently, over the last few years, I focused a lot on NFTs when they were very popular, and we managed to do really well. And I help people on my YouTube channel in terms of flipping NFTs, and now transitioned last year mainly focusing on meme coins because that's where you get the multiples right now. And as you've seen, meme coins are still trending at the moment, really strong. So on my channel on YouTube, I discussed mainly technical analysis, how to look at holders, chart patterns, stuff like that, to try and identify best setups for buying and selling meme coins.
Yeah, what I like about your channel as well is it's very explanatory and it's great not just for beginners, but it also has a lot of advanced things in there. A lot of times when people discuss about meme coins, they breeze past the point, right? They're like, oh,
Mhm.
buy this, shill it, will have no reason behind it. But you actually go into depth on it. And you also show how to use Dex Screener and how to use other filters. So, if you don't mind, share your screen and we'll take a look at your top picks and then we'll go a little bit more into the depth of them.
Yeah, sure. I mean, rather than top picks, I'll just show you some of the coins that are trending. You'll know this as well. The narrative's changing all the time. You've probably seen recently, there's a coin called GOAT. And this
Yes.
was basically an AI created coin with an AI Twitter account where the AI is basically shit posting throughout the day, like I think 10 posts an hour or something like that. And then this quickly went from literally nothing all the way up to a peak so far of 177 million. And that's literally happened in only 3 or 4 days. So I don't know what you think about that, Ty, in terms of
That's
current
absolute.
narrative.
That's ridiculous. What are the top traders? How much money are people making on this thing?
Well, on this particular one, I think a lot of them, there's still some balances there, but a lot of them have already sold all of their balance for a good few have hit
That's
500,000
crazy.
and above.
That multiple
And
people at $500,000 is crazy. For in 4 days.
yeah, even six figures, if you go all the way down, you can see six figures and above. I'm all the way down at what, at number 40 now. And remember, this is days, within 3, 4 days, they've hit P&Ls like this. Some of them with larger buy-ins, but some of them tiny buy-ins of only a few $100s.
Yeah,
Crazy.
this guy, $827 to over $112,000. That is absolutely crazy.
Yeah, and still has balance unrealized, so a moon bag.
A moonbag of 3.6 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. So the AI, let's have a look at the Twitter. The AI is just straight up shit posting on this.
Yeah, so if I open up the Twitter now, I'll just show you here. So it's got I think they've had to I think what happens sometimes is if they have issues with their account, they've probably had to change their Twitter as well.
Yes,
So I
yes,
had their old
because
Twitter up before.
there's a thing with like AI, having like AI accounts on Twitter, right? I think Elon's like he's like 50-50 on it right now to stop people from spamming it, right?
Yeah, basically. So this is the other problem and challenge for some of these accounts. But this looks like the actual account that was running before. And you can see it's got already 38,000 followers and there's 2,500 posts. And the posts are real, like they're funny, make you think, make you question things. And it's got people hooked. And remember, you'll know this, meme coins is all about attention. It's an attention economy. And if you can keep the attention sustained, keep people curious about this, coins like this can potentially keep running.
Agreed.
So some of the posts are crazy.
And the
Like, I'm
volume's
ready to take over
crazy
the
as
world.
well. Like every hour, was it like three, four posts?
Yeah, very, very high volume. And I don't know if this is a trend we'll see. I don't know what you think about this, but in the next few weeks, this is probably now AI coins could be the meme coin trend for now, and then it'll switch to something else, you know?
100%. Like the thing is, that initially, I remember when ChatGPT first came out, um, and everyone would ask it, okay, ChatGPT, give me your top memes or give me your top AI coins, give me your top gaming coins. And all of those would go crazy because originally it wasn't connected to the internet, right? So every single answer was the same, whatever would come out
Yeah.
with. Now, with it being able to connect to the internet, with how advanced AI is getting, because people don't realize that the curve for AI is crazy right now. Like people are, people don't realize it's learning fast, so it's only getting better and better and better. While in one day of our life, AI is like 100 years ahead. So with where it's at now, I think we could get into a position where people just start spamming AI coins and just come up with all types of different crazy ideas. And these things are just marketing machines. If it's getting engagement and it's working, the social media platforms don't really care. They'll just keep running it and letting it grow.
That's it. Yeah, I completely agree. And I think if you think about it, is an AI going to do a better job than a traditional human dev? Possibly.
Possibly, yeah. With how bad some of these devs are, yeah, probably possibly.
Yeah. So I think for your viewers, it's about like just understanding what are the narratives at the moment that are hot. So you go in because you have to hustle, you have to do some work. It's meme coin trading. You can't just put 5 or 10 sol in something and just think, you're gonna get 5, 10 X's every single day, just fall onto your lap. It doesn't
Mm,
work like that. You have to hustle, you have to look for the narratives, and then when you're on the chart, this is what I teach on my channel is you have to look at the structure. You have to look at the volume going in, like you were saying. Like you were talking about volume of Twitter posts, but what about the volume on the chart here? If we zoom
yes,
out in terms of hourly volume, like last 24 hours, 50 million in volume pumping into this. So it's
that's
a lot.
crazy.
And dip buying, fib levels, stuff like that. I think it's really important to, even if you're brand new, to start learning this stuff. There's no point risking your money. Let's say you've only got 5 or 10 sol maximum. There's no point risking that kind of money if you don't know anything about trading. So I've seen you teach on your channel as well. It's important to check these things with any new coin. Check how to analyze communities, holders, etc.
Yeah, if you could put your due diligence process down to a framework, what would you say are your top things to look for when investing into a meme coin?
So is a few different approaches. One thing I like to do, and I teach especially beginners to do this as well, is think about coins, about new ones that are kind of medium old, so like a
Yep.
few weeks, and then ones that are pretty old. So we're talking WIF stuff like that. So stuff that launched back in December, January, when meme
Yep.
coins were trending back then. So you split it up into these different waves. It really helps because the way they move in terms of how fast they go up and go down as well is very, very different. So I would tend to do that first because remember, this is a newer coin. So with newer coins, you have to be extra careful about massive dumps. And then once you've done that, I would say have a look at the Twitter. Is it a new narrative? Is it a trending narrative? Is it something that potentially could get more attention? So sometimes you can use software. So if you want to go advanced, there's advanced levels as well. You can use things like Luna Crush to
Lunar
literally
Crush.
check. Yeah. So you can literally check on their Twitter account, check what their engagement is, reach, how many mentions, and see what the curve is like on the chart there. Is it going down or is it still trending up? That's an example. Like that's more a little bit more advanced.
Yeah.
And then after you've looked at the community, you're looking at the charts, then you're looking at support, resistance levels, dip buying opportunities. Never, never buy on green candles. And I'm sure you've shared that with your community as well. You're always looking at those 50, 60% dips to buy in, get your entry point, and then maybe even set up stop losses. Again, a little bit more advanced. Take profit targets. You can set these all up in BullX or Photon or whatever, software you're using.
Yeah, it's very interesting that you mentioned that, right? Because a lot of people, when they see a green candle, they're like, "Oh my God, they got FOMO." They're like, "Oh, the train's left the station." They're looking at everybody else sharing their gains and posting their Phantom wallets. Now we've got Jupiter wallets posted all over Twitter, and you end
Mhm.
up becoming the exit liquidity because you see everybody else's bag. They're all up 50, 100x, and then now you decide to get in after fading it for how long. Whereas you don't realize that these things happen in waves, just like you said, with for example, even if you look at this token, yeah, the narrative's hot now, but look how many dips it had. In fact, even now it's on a dip, but people don't want to buy now. They'd rather buy at all-time high. It's like, they'd rather buy when it's at 200 million, when they can have a
Yeah.
50% discount on right now. It's a weird mindset because, for example, if I was going to sell you a phone, if I was going to go sell you a brand new iPhone, right? You'd be like, well, how much is it? What's the value? Everything like that. And now if I say, oh my gosh, that iPhone is now 50% off for the same value, you jump out your seat, you do whatever you can to get it. You won't do that with
Yeah.
a token. It's crazy.
Yeah, exactly right. And that's the common mistake a lot of beginners make. When I first started meme coin trading, doing the same thing, like we all make the same mistake. It's like you look at this chart and you zoom in and you're thinking, look, if price gets a little bit stronger, I'm going to wait for it to break out of all-time highs. And I'm going to buy here because that means it's running. That's a
Mm,
trap.
that's the trap.
That's not the place to buy in. It's the 50-60% dips where you should be buying. Just that one little tip, and a lot of beginners will already be doing better in terms of their return on investment. Just by like not doing that beginner mistake where you're buying a breakout. Doesn't work with meme coins. You always buy the dips because even on the way up of this coin or any other coin, you'll see violent dips, 50-60% dips all along the way. And you don't have to watch the chart all the time. You can literally in software now using trading bots, you can set up your buy order. And usually these dips are on what I call psychological levels. And you'll know this as well. It's like you see a lot of bounces on 100 million, 1 million, 5 million, 2 million exactly. So
Yep.
you can literally set up your buy orders at like 2.02 and you could catch a bounce in the night and you could easily make a 2x
Yep.
without even doing that much work. But
Which is
again, you
massive.
have to
Like,
understand how it works.
yeah, which is massive, bro. Because look, the average household in the UK makes like £2,000 a month, for example. So if you're getting a 3x on £1,000 in one day in your sleep, you've made more than you can make in a month from your normal job, where you're working how many hours a day, for example, like what, 4 hours, some people 12 hours a day. So people don't really put it into perspective. They see a 5x, 10x, all these things. They see the money coming in so fast. They kind of get used to it. They forget how hard they actually work day to day to make that money. And if they simply just have a plan and stick with it and develop some sort of conviction and try, they'll make so much more money. Like this makes perfect sense.
Yeah, like completely. And I think what is what you said. I don't think people realize how lucky they are. They have this
Yeah,
opportunity. There's big funds, there's big funds that trade S&P 500 on trackers, and if they make 5 or 10% over an entire year, they're
it's
buzzing.
crazy.
They're real happy, like 5-10%. And we're here every night, maybe hit a 2x. Who knows? You get a little bit lucky that 2x might be a 5x. That's crazy returns. And there's nowhere else I know of, even in crypto, where you could do that right now. I think the opportunity is crazy. I don't know how long it's going to be around. Maybe it'll be around forever now. Who knows? But yeah, you're right. It's the opportunity is massive with multiples.
100%. 100%. Let's have a look at the next one.
Okay, so I'll just share one other one. Again, it's just to see my kind of thought process when it comes to TA. These aren't like massive picks or anything, but it's just stuff that the audience need to kind of look for. So this is a coin, for example. This is called Nubcat because there was a cat coin narrative running,
Hmm.
as you'll know. So again, we have to think about what is the narrative at the moment, and this is an older coin. So it's a different kind of with older coins, you don't have to worry about them suddenly dipping 90% overnight. Very, very rare. I see that with older coins. Is with the
Mm.
new ones, you have to worry about that. And with these ones, you're looking at, look, where was all-time highs before? Where were the important levels? And are we seeing volume come back in? And you can see we've had a nice run up already from 6 million to 28, 30 million. Already 4x, 5x people are hitting on that. But you're not going to time it perfectly. But again, like I said
Yes.
before, you're not trying to time it. You're just buying dips. You're buying opportune moments. And if these cat coins, PopCat and all of the others, they keep running, some of these smaller ones, because I think the sweet spot's probably, 1 million to 10 million or something like that, where you can really make big multiples.
Yes.
What's stopping these running to 100 million? Yeah, that's not a
Nothing.
big deal. People talk about whiff and they're like, oh, it might go to 100 billion and stuff. That's quite, it's possible, but it's outlandish thinking. But you don't need that multiple on whiff. You can trade the smaller secondary coins and make those multiples or even more and is realistic. Like is
Yes.
realistic, this can go back to his previous all-time highs. It's not crazy. 180 million is not crazy.
Yes.
Where are we now? 28. What if it dips to 20? From 20 to 200, that's a 10x.
Yes.
It's
And
just
for
a
a lot of
10x.
like the space now is kind of changing because if you've got a portfolio of, you know, $500,000 or $1.5 million, you've got a decent amount of money. When you're comparing your altcoin bags to larger cap meme coins like this, you actually have a significant amount of upside there with actually quite decent liquidity now for some of these bigger coins that have had a pullback. So even for me, I'm comparing, you know, things like Nubcat, even things like Popcat, even Popcats in like the billions, right? I'm comparing these to a lot of my, you know, dying altcoin bags, for example, and thinking, okay, do I really need this big bag of AVAX, for example? You know,
Yep.
when I could split that between, you know, three mid caps on Solana and potentially make a 10x, 50x, or 100x from these levels right now, which is a very, very interesting concept.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's the big shift, mind shift this year. You've hit the nail on the head there. It's the focusing too much on altcoins, thinking this is 2021. It's
Yes.
not. It's completely different now. So for me, on my channel, I discussed like there's literally a handful of altcoins that I'm even touching at the moment. Things like FET, SUI, Tau, stuff like that. There's only a few. Rest are complete rubbish. Like I'm not going anywhere near them because they're dead. Like they're not gonna do any kind of multiples. And you've already seen that. If from October till January they haven't done much, why are they suddenly going to erupt now? The only one scenario where this could change, the only one, is if meme coin volume suddenly next month or a month after dies so much that everybody is all in on altcoins for a period of a couple of months, then I might shift my focus to altcoins more. But at the moment, it doesn't make sense because the data is telling us don't make sense. Like
Yeah, even
meme coin
leverage.
volume is massive.
Even leverage. People ain't really trading leverage anymore. Like I don't really see many people leverage trading. Like why the fuck would you leverage trade and get death by a thousand cuts of getting stop loss by market makers, where you can just go on all in on Solana and you either get rugged or you make money.
Yep. Yeah, and that's what the return on investment they have to think about. Like if you want to make a 5x, even a 2x, you have to be prepared to take a 20% risk or 30% risk. That's normal. Like the return is so high, you should be prepared to take a little bit more risk. Do that calculation in your head so it makes sense. But if you're trading something like, I don't know, Sandbox or some crappy altcoin like that, where a best case scenario is to make 20%, yeah, then your risk can be lower, but your risk should be only 1% then because your return's not going to be good. But if you're thinking this could do a 10x, you should be prepared for a 50% drawdown because you're
Yes.
asking for a lot from the market.
Yes, yes. So many people don't see that, right? They come in the market. Oh my gosh, I want to make a 10x, I want to make a 20x, I want to make a 50x. But you're not willing to risk 50%, or you're not willing to risk getting wrecked a few times. It doesn't make sense. You're asking for so much without even wanting to risk anything. You know, and you see it a
Yep.
lot. Like people come in the chat, they start letting out all their emotions get to them. They'll be in the YouTube comments. Oh my God, what about this coin that you mentioned, you know, last week or this week? Like, you don't realize that whenever it comes to making an investment, there's risk on the table, and most of the time, actually, you actually do have to work for your bags. Like if we study some of the biggest upper echelon of investors out there, you think they're just buying Apple stock and they're just leaving it like, oh, I've got my Apple stock. I've just put, you know, $5 billion into Apple stock. I'm just gonna leave it for my fund. No, right? They're going in there. They're advising, right? They're adding.
Yep.
They're doing marketing. For example, they're building connections. They're flying around the world building relationships. Luckily enough, we don't have to do that with 10 Solana investments. All you have to do is join the Telegram chat, show your bag a few times, and just be active on social media.
Yep. Yeah. And like you said, like let the big influencers, let them carry your trade up. Let them shill it. So
Exactly.
you get a good position, good entry. Let them do all the hard work. Yeah, exactly right.
Exactly. Let me share some of the coins that I'm currently looking at. Can you see my screen, right?
Yep. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
So it's funny because one of the things that you was mentioning um, a minute ago. Wait, first of all, did this coin just get wrecked? Yeah, it did. That's crazy. This coin was going crazy earlier. So it's got down 88%. But this is the one that I'm looking at. This one is called Dog in Me. Now it's giving me that similar vibe when you mentioned about structure and recovery. And this is the
Hmm.
Coinbase coin. So this token is supported
Coinbase,
by a lot of the Coinbase team. When you
right?
look at base chain, all the biggest coins at the moment are very Kabbalish. Now, Kabbalish is great. However, when it comes to getting relationships with actually the core team of Coinbase, they're going to resist that a
Hmm.
lot. So if I look at base chain coming back, not even just as a chain, but as people just buying them on CEXs, for example, and like you said, right, or like we just both said, which is transitioning your altcoin bags over to more degen-ish meme coins, for example, maybe on Mexi or even on Coinbase, for example. You're going to want to look for those coins that can capture that. This is a coin which isn't Kabbalish, it's actually more community focused. And also it's on base chain, but you can buy it on most CEXs. It's got 2 mil liquidity, 23 mil FDV. And you can see we've gone through that similar cycle on a smaller scale because it's only been around since March. We had that big drawdown, accumulation, and now recently we've only just broken back. And we did have a fairly strong retest as well of the last high. So I do think that, again, like you said, all-time high for these types of things, especially with how volatile it is, isn't actually a bad bet.
Mhm. Yeah, completely right. And if you look at the chart, you can see clearly it's breaking out with volume as well, which is important because volume needs to sustain that move as we go up. But you know what? Even with this one, like if you're buying these, you get a good you catch a good dip and you buy it, right? So let's say you buy it, you catch a good dip. If it ran and then failed a little bit along the way, like 60, 70 million, that's still 2x, 3x. Like it's still massive returns that you could never do traditionally in stock market. And even if it's hard to do in crypto as well. So potentially, if we get a run with base coins, I think you'll see a lot of the older ones that were better, have better communities, better narratives. They could get really, really good multiples. And you're right to kind of mention it to people early because this is very early. If you zoom out to the chart, you can see this is very, very early accumulation.
Yes, exactly. And the interesting thing is, this one, like I follow a lot of UFC. Like, do you watch a lot of UFC or like
Yeah.
martial arts or anything? So get this, right? All the biggest UFC fighters now are currently sharing this. So you can see here, they spoke about Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier follows these guys on Twitter, and he also retweeted this tweet because obviously Dustin Poirier always says he's got that dog in him, right? So as you can see,
Yep.
they edited a dog inside of Justin Poirier, right? You can also see that some of the guys in the NFL are sharing it. So you can see obviously the Dustin Poirier tweet. You can see it here. You can also see obviously the diamond retweeted here. And you can also see this one is Jamal Hill. No, sorry, this is Justice Hill actually from Baltimore Ravens. And you can see that he's also sharing it as well. So I like this one. This one's more of a normie style, and they're going
Mhm.
for getting those athletes on board. And one thing again that you see with these Coinbase and these American companies is they sponsor most of these athletic events. So it's probably down to like the promoters and stuff like that that they've got on board. So I like this one, and that's one of the bags which I swapped. I actually swapped my. It's a risky one. I swapped my Gala bag for it. Um, I had like 45K Gala. I thought I can hold this probably by the end of the fucking cycle, make 200 grand, right? Great.
Yeah.
Or I could look at this, and if it goes on a run, this is more likely to surpass its all time high. Gala is less likely because Gala, their market cap has grown exponentially, right? They've got nodes and all types of things coming into their supply. When you understand about supply and demand, it's very hard for it to surpass its all time high. Meme
Yep.
coins aren't because meme coins, their whole supply is already out. There's already a billion tokens already out for these types of investments.
Very important. People forget that fact. Very, very important. Especially like there's just the basic ones you see on Pump Fund every day and stuff like that. You never have to worry about people minting the dev minting more tokens or messing about with unlocks and stuff like that. Never have to worry. And this one, I now remember, dog me, I actually discussed this on my channel when base was really trending back in March. It was one of my picks then. And it did really well. It did really good run, but you can't argue with the chart right now. If you look at the chart over the last 3, 4 weeks, you can see a clear uptrend, stairs going up, and you can see volume coming back in. Can't argue with that. That's literally TA. That's the TA you're doing that. You're seeing it's starting to trend back upwards. And I think for a risk reward, in fact, I'm even going to watch this now, see if it makes a healthy dip and take an entry because, again, it's a risk reward trade. Simple as that.
Yes, like if it comes down to again, like you said with the volume is looking very good right now on all angles. But if you look in terms of TA, like a good level to come down was it could easily come down to, I'd even retest the local bottom over here, and that could be almost a 30-40% correction, or even if it retests the other high as a 20% correction. So, like you said, very good entries. One more
Mhm.
recent one which I'm looking at right now, and this one's like just launched, so you can see like it's only a few days old, right? But the reason why I like this one, it's for something that you might not have seen before. If I go on to what was the website they just partnered with? I think it is CoinGecko on X, and also on. Let me have a look. It was a ton scanner. Was it no Dex Screener? Dex Tools. This one as well. And then so check this out. If I click here,
Mhm.
Oh, I love that. I love that chart. I love that graph.
so you can if it makes you laugh, it will make you buy, right? That's the way I
Yeah.
see it with a meme coin. So this is a new narrative and it's days old. You see these all of these coins launched on the 12th. Now, this is audio memes. I think this is going to put a big twist on it. Right now, it's only available on the Ton chain, so it's quite a resistance
Mhm.
to bridging over and buying it. Obviously, these coins, unless they get CEX listings, won't go too high. If they do get CEX listings, they can rip exponentially, especially if they partner. Like, imagine being on Mexi and you can click the audio and you can click it, you'd be like, what the? Do you know what I mean? So, they've currently
Next level.
partnered with, yeah, it's crazy. They partnered with Dex Tools. They partnered with CoinGecko. CoinGecko just put out an announcement today, and they're releasing a new narrative to be able to add audio to tokens. So you can imagine a dog bark. How much would that be? You could imagine somebody's music. Like imagine a new music artist. They put out a track. Now you have a chart to go with their track. You could
Crazy.
imagine things like Conor McGregor. An interview of Conor McGregor doing a shit post, right? How much would that interview be? His famous interview was like, "Who the fuck's that guy?"
Yeah.
Right? These tokens are very interesting, and even the chats are all audio. So if you join the Telegram for these things, it's just all voice notes. It's a very interesting narrative. It's ones I'm going to look at. Chart wise, with these making entries again, just like you said, Saj, if you're buying anything, buy the red candles. You don't have to buy like the green candles, for example, but be exposed to these types of narratives. And to leave a teaser for the next video, guys, in the next video on Saj's channel, we're going to discuss one of the biggest topics right now, which is going around, going absolutely viral, and that is Murad. If you haven't seen Murad and seen some of the coins which are going absolutely crazy right now, I'll give you an example. That coin is actually called SPX. If you see this token right now, it's up in over $763 million of market cap in literally the space of 1 month. I'm kicking myself because I was at token 2049, bro. And I didn't even see the conference. If I seen the conference, seen the list, I would have just aped the shitters, but I didn't even see it. Since then, the token's gone absolutely crazy. The buys on this thing are massive. Their goal is to flip the stock market. So we're going to discuss those picks and some of the best picks, and maybe we'll see if there's any picks that people ain't spotting, and if we can find some buyer levels for them. How does that sound?
Yeah, it sounds really good. We're excited to go through that on the next one.
Yes. And with that being said, guys, if you do want to learn more about meme coin trading, Solana trading, I recommend checking out Sajad's channel. Like I said, if you subscribe to my channel, you probably already know who he is. If you go on my analytics, you're actually the #1 channel that my audience already watches. So that's great. I've convinced Saj to do one very special giveaway. We're going to give away some Solana. All you have to do is subscribe to Sajad's channel, comment on his last video, one thing that you have learned from that video, and you'll be in a chance of winning some Solana.
Yep, sounds good.
Thank you,
And I
bro.
look forward to our next chat because it's really exciting times with meme coins. But yeah, you're bang on. The next audio potential meme coin narrative, that could be huge.
Yes, yes. Thank you very much, bro. And I'll see you on your channel later on.
Cheers. Take care.